I've always been that take the stairs approach. I feel like the hard work is paid off for all the years, and it just led up to this moment, and I was prepared for it.
How do you deal with the microscope that comes with what you do for a living?
I block out the noise. You know, I'm an artist. People should be able to separate the two and just say he's an artist, he's great at his craft. That's what it was. Yeah. So I just block all the noise out and just say, you know what, I keep my head focused on, you know, the mission I'm on. I have children that I want them to look at daddy, you know, as a positive influence for people in the generation behind me. And I got babies, man. So that's how I represent my life. You know, everything is for my kids and how I move in public eye, what I say, you know, what I don't say. I look at them first.
You kind of stay out of the public as far as your personal life, which I think is, you know, something that we as men truly respect because we try to do the same. Home is home. But God puts people in our lives to push us toward our passions. And sometimes it is, you know, your mother or your father. But how does the memories of, hey, I'm going to take you to go try out or go audition for this movie that Oprah is doing, or the excitement of even seeing you on a billboard, how does that continue to push you to live your passions and your dreams?
The smile it put on her face, you know, that I made my mom proud. Before she left, she was, you couldn't tell me, like I wasn't this Oscar award winner at that time, you know, she was so proud, like that's my baby, you know. He's in the business and he's successful, like I was everything to her. So losing your mom at that age, it actually, you know, prepared me for life, you know, for a lot of different obstacles that I had to face, like moving here with no money and, you know, not being able to afford rent and just odd jobs. But her strength has allowed me to continue to carry on every day, to say that it's never as bad as losing my mom. So anything I go through now, it's just like it's nothing. You know, it hurts, but it's like I'm gonna keep pushing on.
When did it become your dream as well? Because as a parent, you can want something for your children. You have children, we all do. You can want something for your children, but if they don't want that same thing, and if they don't want it as badly as they need to in order to accomplish it, then they don't become that thing. Like you push them and you want them to succeed, but they don't see that level of success without that level of commitment.
Right.
When did it stop being the punishment your mom enforced on you and started to become your dream?
I would say after she passed away.
Oh.
I got serious, like, about the dream after she passed away. I sat around Chicago for 3 years, like, what I'm gonna do with my life? I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in, because, you know, my mom was everything. My mom showed me what it was to, like, work hard for things in life and have passion and go after it and have faith. So I try to instill that type of thing into my son, that you gotta work for everything. You know, life is not easy. You know, because when you get out of school, you know, it's a real world out there. You know, that's when life begins. So I'm trying to prepare him for that now.
And parenting being, you being very involved, and obviously their mother being very involved, the co-parenting side of it and trying to make sure that you both are still in the same lane of raising your children to the best of your ability. How has it been adapting to that and continuing to do such a good job as y'all are?
Everything is about the kids, you know, their well-being, their future, and just co-parenting, you know what I'm saying? And keeping it still a family and keeping it love-based. You know, still keeping God first at the center of everything and just walking with love, man. That's all it's about. You know, I wish her the best with everything, and that's unconditional for me. You know, I love unconditional. I can't get caught up in what's going on out there, what people are saying. I just know where my heart is at, and I have to continue to move that way because I want all my blessings for me, you know, and if I succeed, she succeeds, our kids succeed, you know? So I have no room for failure or no room for no, you know, mistakes right now in my life. That's how I look at it.
On a recent panel, you said you couldn't sleep for 1.5 years or something, and that you cried for a lot of that time. How difficult was that period in life for you? Because we know as men and as black men, we're starting to get into a space where we talk about not only mental health, but emotional health.
Right.
And we've learned ways to be vulnerable and open. But to share that in a room full of people, I mean, that's something that you felt deeply. How did you find a way to get through that time while also having to still be a father, a provider,
Right.
and do your job?
You know, I feel like you'll never get through that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of praying, a lot of knowing that God is real. God is actually truly real in my life. A lot of stillness, man. When you sit still a lot, you know, you can hear a lot of things for me. A lot of isolation, solitude, and just knowing, you know, if I can just put one foot in front of the other, you know, and take it a day at a time. Because I'm taking it a day at a time, still to this day.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I just take it a day at a time. You know, black men have feelings. You know, black men hurt. Black men are in like pain, and sometimes we don't have outlets to, you know, like talking to you now. No one really asks me these questions, never really. So it's like sometimes we feel like we're dealing with it alone, not unless you have like a therapist or, you know, a close confidant or like friend. But it's not easy because it feels like as a black man, you can't show vulnerability to the world, you know, because it's a form of weakness. But it should be looked at as a form of strength, you know, like men do need to cry, you know, because when it's all bottled up, you know, and inside, you know, that's when stress, things can happen, different tensions. You got to be able to have a outlet to release. Like I said, that's the only way that you can get to the true healing of everything. So, yeah, when I was speaking in Miami, that's just how I felt at the time. You know, so to this day, I look at my kids and say, Daddy got you forever. You know, I look at my daughter, you know, when they smile at me and they know Daddy really loves them. My son knows Daddy really loves me. That's what brings me joy right now, and that's what keeps me saying.
For you, when you're sharing those gems with Cree, or even in the protection of what it is to be a father to a young daughter in Cairo, what are some of the things you try to impart on them when you have those times?
Just love, man. I just try to love my kids and just love on them and just be the best dad I could be, you know, not the perfect dad, but just the best dad I can be for my kids, to know they're supported, they're loved, they can come to Daddy for anything, but I also let my son know to, you know, keep dreaming for a living. You know, there's no limit, there's no ceiling to what you want to do, son. Like, he likes to fly planes, and you know, he wants to go to aviation school or take that up in college. And I'm like, you can do that too. He said he wants an MBA in flight planes. I said, do both. You know, I'm not the dad to just be like, oh, that dream is too big. Nah, man, you got to keep dreaming. As long as you put that out there in the world and have faith and you work hard, I think all things are attainable on this earth. And that's all I try to teach to my kids.
Now, to what RC said earlier, if she was here to see you, what would she say to you?
She would just hug me and tell me how much she loves me, how much she's proud of me. You know, as black men, or just men, period, you just want to hear someone tell you they support you and they love you, you know, and that gives you strength to keep going and just give you a hug sometimes. That's all you need is a hug. And just say, I'm proud of you. You know, we don't get it. I don't think we get enough of that. It's always a lot of tearing down. You know, it's a lot of divisiveness, putting people against people. But, you know, I don't believe in none of that. You know, I feel like it's not healthy for the future of anything. It's not, nothing can be progressive with negative energy. You know, life is too short, and we had it hard enough to be in this position. I'm sure you guys had to fight to get the podcast or fight in the league, and I had to fight and struggle to get here. So why tear down? Let's just continue to build up, you know, and be the example for the people behind us, our children. So I don't believe in nothing, tearing nothing down. And you'll never hear me speaking down on anyone.
I want to ask you, what's been your biggest pivot? Your biggest pivot in life, or pivots, that's a moment or moments where you can look back and say, without this happening to me, I wouldn't be who I am today.
I would say my children. That changed me, you know, for the best and for the better. You know, and having a daughter, you know, changed me as well. You know, because you look at You look at everything different when you have a daughter. It's like, it's delicate situation. Everything is, you gotta be gentle, you know, you gotta listen more. But yeah, having a daughter changed it all for me. And my son, of course, but just that daughter moment, like, you know, it's like, cause the daughter, when you see her, you can just break down in her arms. You know, it's like, you know, I love that feeling too. And I love that she knows that I got her, you know, for the rest of her life, so.
When we become one with a person, especially somebody that does the same thing that we do, the culture grabs onto it. You know, we got into a little trouble when our show first started because we said something about Sierra and Russell Wilson. And it was opinion, and it wasn't negative about who they were, but the culture in our community was like, those are ours, you know. And then to see you stand alone, man, and continue to be your authentic self and continue to show love and continue to not tear down, I just want to say I commend you for that. The ability to be open and to be vulnerable when people may not be saying the best things about you because they don't know what's actually going on in your life. They don't know how you truly behave. They don't know how you truly treat people. And for me, man, to even in researching to sit down with you today, to never see you say anything negative, to never see you cause any division based on what you allow people to know publicly, I think that's so commendable. And I think more, not just black men, more men need to understand that there's a responsibility as a man to behave as one. You know, and I think you've exemplified that, you know, through what at least we've been able to see publicly. And I didn't want to let you leave here without knowing that I appreciate that example, you know, from you.
Thank you.
I truly do.
That means a lot. Just from y'all brothers, positive brothers, just having me here with y'all.
Yeah.
You know, I feel the love in the room, and it's genuine, it's real, and thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Proud of you guys.